Welcome back into Great Day, Washington. It's time now for our morning mix. A big day at the White House yesterday. I love this story. Uniformed Secret Service officers were triggered into action after a toddler, now officially known as the littlest intruder, squeezed through the fencing on the north side of the executive mansion. The toddler's brief adventure was the first successful breach of the walls since they were heightened to 13 feet a few years back. Needless to say, the child was handled with care, delivered back to his parents before obtaining any state secrets.
Well, he was probably just looking for some leftover Easter candy.
That's true. Maybe there's some eggs that not everybody found after the Easter egg roll.
You know, with toddlers, you cannot turn your head for 1 second. They will find something to get into, and they are very determined little people. But I'm surprised because most kids, they're looking for a playground, they're looking for some dirt to dig in. They're like, what's behind this fence with this big White House? Let's go check that out.
But I'm actually surprised that it hasn't happened more with little kids. I mean, they put the height up, right, to keep intruders out. But as we now know, a little kid can fit on through there. So I wonder what they're going to do now.
I was surprised you could get that close because when I went down with my dad, you know, we couldn't get close enough to touch the fence. So interesting.
Maybe he hopped over something else too. Yeah, who knows? Gotta keep your eye on those little ones.
You definitely do, Kristen. Well, Netflix is officially ending the business that helped make it a household name. This fall, Netflix will end its DVD rental service. Yeah. This is still a thing. People still do this. Netflix says that about 1 million people still use it, but the company wants to focus solely on streaming. Netflix says it plans to mail out its final red and white envelopes in September, so better savor those envelopes if you can.
So nostalgic. It brings back so many memories.
I know, and I can't believe the last time I've gone to the, quote, red box. It's probably been like more than 10 years. Yeah. I was in Texas still at the time, but Friday night, pizza, grab your red box movie, or your Netflix movie and call it a day.
I always loved when like those red and white envelopes would be on the floor after going through the mail slot. I'm like, okay, what do I have? And then you forget sometimes what was in your queue, right? Remember you built a queue and then hoped that you could get the movie that you really wanted to see. The thing I think of is like my teen girls have no idea what we're talking about right now.
I know. Kristen, I was going to say, did you ever do Blockbuster? Now I'm really telling our ages.
Oh, I've loved walking through the floor of Blockbuster, just looking at, I don't know what it was about that, but
I know.
Walking through the aisles.
The fresh popcorn.
Of course, the movie you always wanted was never available.
Never available. Somebody just took the last one.
Now it's at the click of a remote.
It is.
All right, speaking of Netflix, the streaming giant has released the first trailer for All the Light We Cannot See. It's a limited series based on the Pulitzer Prize-winning novel of the same name. The story follows a blind French girl and her father, played by Mark Ruffalo, who flee German-occupied Paris during World War II. All the Light We Cannot See premieres November 2nd. A lot of buzz around this series. I have not read the book yet, and I really
I've not either.
Apparently need to. It's so good. Our producer Blair says it's one of her favorites. So we just, all right, that's next on my list.
I like to read the book before I watch it because I feel like you get so much more detailing to really use your imagination in the book. So I prefer to read that before I watch it, and then I'm like, oh, I remember this, and now it's come to life on the screen after you've read the book.
But sometimes I've read it in books and I have no interest in seeing the series.
Really?
Only if it's, I think sometimes because I'll read and they'll like, oh, it's not anything like the book. I was like, well, then I don't want to see it.
Well, they have to condense it. Yeah, it's the magic of Hollywood. Well, speaking of movies in Hollywood's production of the Alec Baldwin movie Rust is set to resume Thursday in Montana. That's according to the studio behind the film. In 2021, cinematographer Helena Hutchins was killed in a prop gun shooting on the film's New Mexico set. The movie is to be completed as part of a settlement agreement between all parties involved, even while Baldwin and armorer Hannah Gutierrez-Reed are facing involuntary manslaughter charges. Baldwin, however, has pleaded not guilty. The director, Joel Souza, who was also shot and injured, is expected to return to finish the project. That's according to Rust Movie Productions. This was certainly, you know, just such a tragic accident and something that you know, in all the history of Hollywood, especially with veteran actors like Alec Baldwin, you would think that on set that something like that, you know, could have been could have been avoided, unfortunately. So it does seem like all parties are, you know, satisfied as could be, all things considered.
It was part of the settlement agreement, from what I'm reading. Matthew Hutchins, who's Helena's widower, is actually going to now serve as executive producer as well on this. So I haven't read like if this was just a, you know, kind of to continue her legacy to finish this project. The question is, are people going to go see this? I think people will out of curiosity, right? There's so much
too.
around this. It's like all of us just, not all of us, but a lot of us are like, oh, I got to see what all this was about.
Exactly. I agree. I hadn't seen much backlash. Obviously some interest and concern for parties that were injured, but not a whole lot of outrage.
Going to be a lot of scrutiny around it.
Very much so.